Now she's out. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Inside the Pigskin. Am I loud enough? No, maybe not. And if I am louder, let me know through the chat room. I'll be more than happy to be louder. Anyways, got a different type of crew tonight, a very good one, I might add. And let's talk about the crew. Obviously, the title says Lions versus Commanders, revenge game decades in the making. Who knows how many people were actually born when this one happened before. We're going to give you an overview in a little bit. Crew, Candy Ebling, welcome back.
Thanks, Scott, for having me. It's great to be on the show tonight.
Glad to have you. And Pensman is back. We're giving this guy some triple duty this week. Look at this guy. I love this guy. It's all good. So,
how you doing, Scott? You good? You good?
Oh, we're doing good. This guy can be on 3 shows this week. My goodness, Pensman. It don't get any better than that.
That's right.
And the beautiful Jennifer Lewis. My goodness.
Hello, my friend.
Wait a minute. She gets beautiful and I get what? Wait a
minute. You got the ring, Candy.
Hey, listen, we don't start an argument on this show, Candy, because you get told that 9 million times. She only gets it told when she's on the air or when we're talking on the phone. You get it all the time. Don't go there. This isn't one of those deals. All right. And last but not least, Bo Crouch. Hello, Blas. Welcome back to the big show. All right. There's Bo.
Chill. Yeah, what up?
All right. Let's get to it. Listen.
So this is hour 7 today. So
hour 7. This guy's a workhorse. All right, blows the gang. Yes, a different look tonight, but a good, and I will say a darn good one. Well, guess what, folks? The stage is set in the Lions versus Commanders in the 1991 NFC Championship game. The Washington Redskins won 41-10. By the way, Barry Sanders is on that team. Lions quarterback Eric Kramer, who should have won the job the following year. Wayne Fontes versus Joe Gibbs. Washington ended up winning their first playoff game 6,945 days by beating the Minnesota Vikings, led by quarterback Jaden Daniels. The longest active NFC playoff drought now goes to the Miami Dolphins at 23, the Raiders 22, and the Commanders no longer at 18. There you go. Jared Goff, by the way, threw for 4,629 passing yards, most in the NFC, 72.4 completion percentage, best in the NFC, and his passing touchdowns, he had 37. And as I mentioned, he had Barry Sanders. And then you're going to have a matchup of Dan Campbell versus Dan Quinn, the battle of the 4th down buddies, as Bo and I could probably talk about that forever. But yes, Wayne Fontes versus Joe Gibbs. Who knows if this panel knows who either of them. But all right, Penman, lead off. What are your thoughts about the matchup? Who's going to win also? Well, we'll get to the predictions later.
It's going to be a good game, but I have this game going to the Lions. The Lions are going to win by a field goal.
Okay. Well, why do you think it's going to be such a good game?
Well, they're rested up. The Lions are rested up. They haven't played since they played the Vikings. So I think they're just going to win. I think that they're going to what's his name? Jared Goff's going to run, throw the ball. I think it's just going to be a well-performed all-around game for the Lions. They're well-rested. So we'll see how it goes.
Well rested enough that David Montgomery is going to be played as well. Jennifer, how do you size up the Lions and the Commanders?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of torn on this because historically, obviously, the Commanders, formerly the Redskins, have this. But since we are under a new name, we're 2 leadership or ownership changes away now. So historically, it should go to the Commanders, right? But Are we looking at a brand new team? And the last time your Lions got their butts handed to them on a silver platter was December 2022 from my Carolina Panthers. Now you have lost games.
Reminding me that. Keep going.
But you know what? That loss inspired Coach Campbell, in my humble opinion. However, I don't know. I'm with Bo. It's going to be a tough game, tight game. I want to say the Lions will win, but in all honesty, and y'all know I don't usually ride the fence, but just historically, it's the Commanders, just based on history, and I don't know why.
I don't mind various opinions. Going to the chat room, Boss. I would like to see the Ravens win this year. Tell you what, Boss, they have a chance. They're still alive. Robert Wardell, Detroit wins by double digits. All right, Bo, what do you think? Jennifer is going against the Lions. Are you?
No. I'm with Pensman here. I'd like the Lions to win this. I think it's going to be a tighter game, and the biggest part of that is the fact that they have 13 defensive players on. That is insane. I mean, they're basically throwing jerseys on whoever they fit, and they're like, "Hey, try and make." So the offense is elite. So if the offense can keep pace, they have a shot. But I think ultimately the fact that they have a rookie under center ends up being the difference, and they end up falling short to the Lions.
Okay, Candy.
Be careful.
You have to go home with them tonight.
I think it's going to be a tough game, but I do see the Lions taking this game. I think as much as we didn't see a lot of nerves in the Commanders Tampa Bay game. I think you're going to see it's a little bit more because you're on a little bit bigger stage. You're at the next level, and as much as Jaden Daniels has had an awesome, rookie season, I give this one to Detroit. And yes, Detroit still has a number of defensive players on IR, but look what they did in Minnesota. Look what they've done to all the other teams this year. Their defense, and let's face it, when you are on the road to the championship, there is a saying that says defense wins championships.
Yep.
I think that's what's going to set them apart from the Commanders is I think their defense, even with it being as injured as it has been, they played inspired ball when last week against Minnesota when Anzalone came back, and they just played a lot better. I think I see their defense really picking up the game. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think
let's go to the chat room. Go ahead, Candy. Finish your thought.
So I was going to say, I see Detroit winning, and I see it being probably at least by 10 points. 10 to 14, I'm going to say.
Fair enough. Okay, D-Lowe's shook the crew up this week. Let me tell you, D-Lowe's, should you get in contact with me tomorrow, there's a lot of things on the network that I'm currently in the process of shaking up. But this is a good group tonight based on their availability. We're happy to have all five with us. Blows, I'll have the Lions winning this game as well. Good idea. I agree with you there, William Carofa. I guess that's a smile, however it is. What's going on? Well, all right, the Commanders are going to need an LOP at offense. All right. My thoughts on the game are this. I like the way Jared Goff is playing. I like the idea you're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs, and you're also going to have David Montgomery. The Lions' passing attack is good. But I'm going to piggyback off of Candy. Alex Anzalone is a captain of that defense. And when you put him in that lineup, there's a reason why he is the captain of that defense because you get him in there, he'll just fire everybody else around. I like the Lions. I'll go with them by 10 to 14 as well. Not going to go out there and score. We'll have some predictions a little bit later, but this will be a good game. I think, as I put in the title, Lions versus Commanders, revenge game, decades in the making. Bear in mind, 41 to 10. It'll be a pretty interesting situation here when these two teams finally meet. So I give the Commanders a lot of credit. They walked into Tampa and they pulled out a 3-point win. A lot of people didn't think they could win. I did predict that they would win. So, I enjoy having picks all the way across the board. That way somebody will be right, somebody will be wrong. Next week we'll find out who's right and who's wrong. All right. I love what we have here in the chat room. So let's write off of that, Candy. Robert Wardell, the ICE Commanders or I Commanders are going to need LOB on that offense. Defense wins championship, adversity creates champions. I like that one. This guy's on a roll.
Well,
hey, Scott. South Florida Tribune covers championship. D-Lowe's, you're on a roll. God bless you. Hey, Blows, it's going to be good, man. You better believe, Blows. Keep it up. You're doing great stuff tonight. Next topic. The Rams 27-9 over the Minnesota Vikings. Matt Stafford tops Sam Darnold. Tough couple of weeks for Sam Darnold as he was sacked 9 times last night. The Detroit Lions routed Minnesota 31-9 the week before. These past 2 weeks were expensive for Sam. Hats off to the Arizona Cardinals for hosting the Rams with obviously the California wildfires. Our prayers are out to all those folks in California. Okay, with that said, why don't you go ahead and size up the what the Rams did, Pensman, last night.
Well, first off, welcome to the stream, Brian. Welcome to board. So, want to say hi to Brian. So, he's a good subscriber of mine. So, I just want to say that. Second of all, the way that Rams took care of Sam Darnold was unpredictable. I personally didn't think. I thought Sam Darnold was going to come in and do what Sam Darnold did all year, but he choked badly last night. What he did last night was the New York Jet Sam Darnold, and I thought I didn't expect that performance. I thought it was going to be a back and forth game. That was horrible performance by the Minnesota Vikings, and I know Candy was happy about that because she's a Packers fan, but. But I'm just saying, I was surprised on that performance by the Minnesota Vikings, the way they went out.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Jennifer.
In all honesty, Sam Darnold, not his best performance. He held on to the ball too long on several occasions, but his O-line also collapsed. I mean, and you get 9 sacks when that happens. But the sad part is the O-line had been collapsing for the last couple of weeks too. So there you got, I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around with how bad that was. And I just hope he's not hurt too badly. And I hope he's gotten out of the ice, but to bath. I'll say that. But yeah, it wasn't pretty for him. And I feel bad for him. But on the other hand, I think that was his first roll for rate. Well, with the exception of the 49ers last year. But by that point, he was back on the bench. His first foray as quarterback in the playoffs. Now he was ready to go, but played him. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that, Robert. But it wasn't his best performance, obviously. So, but I don't think people can just blame the quarterback. There needed to be some coaching changes, maybe even sit him out last week because he'd had 3-4 really bad games in a row. So, including now last night, but yeah, or the Sunday night. I'm sorry.
Let's refer to this comment that Robert put up. Minnesota suffered from the Lions hangover. Team seemed to lose week after playing Detroit this year. Yeah, that's definitely true. Robert can't thought about that. The Lions exposed them pretty badly. Let's go underneath Darnold's. Made him sell out of some dollars with that stinker. Yeah, he definitely did. He'll make some money, but it certainly cost him in the checkbook. Tiger strikes me to my point that when you play an NFL quarterback, you average 2.5 throwing the ball. So all these points in the chat room are fantastic. We'll throw the ball.
Yeah, no, I mean, some of those is the direction I was going to go is, Darnold obviously got happy feet. He started running himself into some trouble, but it was because his offensive line couldn't stop anything. I mean, those guys didn't get off the airplane, but at the same time, he needed to be able to make some better decisions out there. Mm-hmm. And to Rob's point, he cost him some money. Had he won this game or at least made it competitive, he's probably looking in that upper 40s range. He's probably realistically looking at 30 mil. So he potentially loses almost 20 mil a year based on the last 2 games. And potentially doesn't even end up on this roster next year. So that was some pretty rough losses for for Darnold there, because they did go grab Jones. Someone else is paying the tab for him. So they may let Darnold walk, keep Jones.
They're keeping McCarthy too. So just letting you guys know that.
Yeah, I think so. Before I turn over to Candy, though, I do want to say something that really touched me. I like the way State Farm Stadium, what the Cardinals did to make it feel like the Rams' real home stadium with all the paint that they brought in. That was very inspiring and uplifting for sure. So, yeah, Daniel Jones definitely deserved a chance to play when Minnesota gave up at the end. Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to follow with Bo that he was an insurance policy anyways with somebody picking up the tab, and you'll see him obviously develop under Kevin O'Connell. So, Robert, you're really pretty much on target. And obviously, Tiger strikes me, you saw it goes in the backfield. All right, Candy, go ahead.
Daniel Jones played himself off the Minnesota Vikings last night because they have Daniel Jones, because they have J.J. McCarthy, because they
You mean Sam Darnold played himself off?
Sam Darnold. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes, I
That's
misspoke.
all right.
He played himself off that roster. Now the question is what team will pick him up to be a backup? Because that's what he showed himself as last night. He had played pretty good during. We're all going to say he had a good season because the Vikings went 14-2. But was that all attributed to him? Now, was all of the yesterday attributed to him and the bad woes? No. Offensive line, yes. But 9 sacks, that tells me you're not making the decision to get rid of the ball either. You're holding on to that ball. Why? As part of your job as a quarterback is to find the right receiver at the right time. And if you don't find it, to get rid of that ball because the offensive line cannot keep holding forever and ever and ever. You scored 9 points against the Lions. You scored 9 points against the Rams 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Not enough. Not enough to win in the NFL. Not in playoff football.
Well, I'll say this much.
That defensive line didn't have to hold a long time. They were getting straight through. Like there were a lot of those that he had less than 2 seconds. So I can't really fault Sam on that. He did end up with happy feet and started creating bad decisions. But I mean, that offensive line couldn't stop anything.
Yeah, he started playing scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that in Carolina. We all saw that with the Jets. But something has been going on with that O-line because he won games, but then it also begs the question: has Sam also been injured? Because again, the O-line for the Vikings has kind of been deteriorating the last, I'd say, month. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, there's something going on there. And I'm not a Sam Darnold homer or anything like that, but I am curious what flipped to make it go downhill so fast from his play because
Man.
Well, Jen, let's face the reality, okay? When you're getting mauled, it's going to be bad. It really is. But here's the thing about Sam Darnold, though. I want to just keep everything in perspective. Number one, you got him as a free agent this year anyways, okay, because J.J. McCarthy went down. All you did was get 14 wins out of him. That's not a bad return for free agent.
Right, and that's why I think he'll still be there next year.
Right.
I mean,
I don't think a lot of people ruled out bringing
does
him
not
back.
negate what.
But Kevin O'Connell was defending his point, Jen. You're making an excellent point. You really are. Kevin O'Connell wasn't blaming him for losing last night. When you're getting mauled like a bear, what do you expect this guy to do? You know, the only thing he didn't run all the way back to New York, so he got mauled there. But the reality is, I don't think I'd rule him out going back to Minnesota. Who knows what's going to happen with that Viking situation? But Jennifer, I'm agreeing with you. For crying out loud, you know, the man had a bad night. What's that?
Woohoo! Candy, put this in your calendar. I think this is the first time.
Well, there's always a first time for everything. Seriously. Really. I mean, I'm having fun. All right, Candy, put up William Caropa. He's got more than I can read, okay?
Hey, Scott.
What's that? All right. No, that one. Well, that too, but go down a couple until you get to
the I got to go
it's a recipe.
No, Raiders, all right.
Yeah, can I answer that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would put, and Bo, you can chime in if you want because you're more NFL related than I am. But if I would put Sam Darnold there, I would put him with a really fresh team that's starting to get ground up. Like the Raiders, they're trying to get their momentum. They're trying to figure out what to do. So him going to the Raiders when they need a new head coach, new GM, I think that'll be a good fit for them because they're trying to build ground up. So what do you think? Do you agree with me, Bo?
So the thing is if you're looking at him as a bridge quarterback, then not really, right? Because you already have a bridge quarterback in the room that you don't have to pay as much as you'll have to pay Darnold. Like if you're conceding the fact that this year is a rebuilding year and you're just throwing mud against the wall hoping something sticks, then you might as well stay with Minshew and O'Connell because spending another, 15 mil for the year on Darnold probably doesn't mean anything to you, right?
That makes sense.
Because you're ultimately going to be trying to draft an actual quarterback. So do you need Darnold to be in front of your guy? No, I mean, I don't think he adds an element that's really much different than if Minshew was ahead of him or O'Connell, because all those guys have had starts in the league. They've all been around the league. They've all moved around with limited success. In fact, very similar success.
With
So,
Philly and Indy, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, I don't know that you make that move because you're essentially just giving money away. I mean, I get the idea behind it, but if your ultimate goal is to draft a guy in and train him up, I don't think he adds enough veteran leadership compared to what's already on the roster.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew is the ultimate bridge quarterback for sure. So I agree. I don't know if Darnold's a fit there, but you never know what's going to happen with Tom Brady, and you don't know what's going to happen with the coach. And we don't have enough time to address the Raiders coaching situation. So while I have Jennifer on the line, I want to make sure I get as many topics as I can for Jen. So with that said,
I just want to get
Sorry,
that out.
Bill. Sorry, Pensman.
No, you're good.
You
I just want to get that out.
Well, all right. But this will touch Pensman pretty close. After all,
here we go.
Mike Tomlin. Oh, don't worry. I know how to get Pensman's goat easily. And this is a way to do it. Mike Tomlin postseason record, 6 straight playoff losses, and the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016 in the divisional round. Mike Tomlin's postseason from 2007 to 2010 was 5-2, and then from 2011 to 2024, 3-9. All right. With that said, Bo, what are your thoughts about Mr. Tomlin? Should he stay there, or are they going to just wait till he retires? That's what they usually do in Pittsburgh, anyways.
I find it ridiculous that people want him gone when he is a perennial winner, gets you in the playoffs all the time, and he's had to do it with a hodgepodge of quarterbacks after Big Ben retired. It's not like you've had the guy. They've taken a couple stabs, but, Pickens wasn't it. Rudolph wasn't it. Trubisky wasn't it. You're getting leftovers of Wilson and Fields, who's never been proven. Who exactly on that list of quarterbacks were you supposed to win with?
Yeah, that's true.
I'll say this. I think Justin Fields can be very successful.
Right.
I'm not a Russell Wilson fan, just because, I'm in North Carolina, followed him since his NC State days. And I think there's been one coach for him, and that was Pete Carroll. And I said this on our show earlier. I do think Justin Fields was hung out to dry in Chicago. Chicago, Carolina, and the Jets. Worst places for a quarterback or a rookie to go, right? We can agree on that. Maybe Jacksonville too. Yeah. But I do think that Fields can do it there. I think, again, Russell has talent, but his ego's a lot bigger than his talent is.
He has a blueprint. He has a blueprint. Wilson has a blueprint he can run. He needs an elite running back. He needs an elite defense. And he needs a guy that can take the top off because he doesn't like using tight ends and close routes. So he needs a system that the defense dominates, the running back carries the load, and he has to be special 3 to 5 times a game. That's where he's successful. And largely in the games that he's won this year, that's exactly what they asked him to do. As soon as they go on this slide, they were asking him to be let Russ cook guy. They started getting away from the run. They wanted him to do a lot more. All of a sudden, instead of him cooking, he's making, saltine crackers and ketchup packets. So, it's not what he's good at. And so they got away from what it is he was good at. Is one of the things I credit Pete Carroll with a lot is he would save Wilson from himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete Carroll speaks Russell Wilson.
Yes. The problem with Fields is no one's let him throw the ball downfield. So you don't even know if he's good at it.
Right. Sorry, my dogs are about to have a dog fight. So if you guys hear that, that's my husband trying to break it up.
Oh, funny. Okay.
Actually, let me go help him. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, while we'll do that, we'll turn it over to Pensman. Jennifer will come back and take care of business with the pop. All right. Go ahead, Pensman. Yeah, this is a tough topic. That's why he's scratching his head here, because he has to talk about it. He has to agonize over it. But while you're agonizing over it, Pensman, and you're done scratching your head, I'll just say this because that's all I'm going to say about it. If anybody were to let Mike Tomlin go, the only thing that I'm going to go ahead and say is this guy will have the phone ringing off the hook to hire him back. All right, Pensman.
Bo, you know what I feel about this. And everybody that is subscribed to me knows how I feel about this. But Mike Tomlin needs to be a regular coach, regular season coach, and a playoff coach. If you look at his playoff record, it's 444. It's probably decreased now because of Saturday. 18 years is too long. He's coming back for 19th season, and he's contracted till 2027. I think his time is up. I don't think they need a new voice. Look at your Red Wings. Your Red Wings just got a new coach. And we just talked about this. They are on fire now because they have a new coach, a new system. And now that the Mike Tomlin's voice is getting, he lost the locker room.
Right.
And it's time for him to go. Mike McCarthy is out there looking for a job right now as we speak.
Oh, you want to replace him?
Whoa!
Yeah, I got some energy now.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, Penguin, you've got more energy than I've ever seen you with that comment. You lit a fire in this thing.
Wow.
All right, now,
Mike McCarthy he grew up in Pittsburgh, and he would be good.
all right, well, hold on. Okay. Well, wait a minute. All right, hold on. I got to make sure Jennifer gets back to her bedtime because you opened up a mouthful here. Jennifer, what else you want to say on what else you want to say in the topic? We go to Candy, then we go to a station break. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay, I was just gonna say that no, Mike McCarthy needs to sit out a year. He needs to be benched. All right, like he needs to refresh his mind. Does Mike McCarthy have it in him to be an amazing coach? Absolutely, he does. Robert Wardell asked about Tomlin, has he plateaued? I think McCarthy has plateaued. That's just my humble opinion. I think he needs to take a breather, go sit on a really relaxing beach in the Caribbean or in Maui somewhere, wherever. Go chill. Then get back in the football state of mind. But Mike Tomlin probably needs a vacation too, to be honest with you. But he's still going to be the coach of the Steelers. Has he plateaued? Sure. But I mean, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're not going to fire him. He's not going to go anywhere until he retires. And then you have other candidates who would be equally great coaches for the Steelers to replace him, in my humble opinion. You're looking at Brian Flores. He's been in the system for a while. And I mean, I know there's like tarnish around his name, but whatever. People need to get over that. But I think there's other people out there who could do a great job. But I don't think Tomlin's going anywhere yet.
So let me pose this question to you.
Oh, God.
Say they let him go.
Uh-huh.
Right? And they get their first losing season in 20 years.
Right.
You don't think the fan base is going to lose their absolute minds?
Yeah.
Like, why did you fire the guy that's never lost a season?
Yeah, absolutely they would. But you know, like, it kills me how, I don't know. That's another topic for another day. But
I look at it.
Yeah, they would lose their mind.
I look at it this way. At the end of the day, however you get in the playoffs doesn't matter. It's once you get in, doing something with it, right? Eli Manning, prime example. The most average dude ever. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame simply because of the 2 rings he ended up winning.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like none of his stats jump off the page. There were no times in his career that he was ever lauded as the best quarterback in the league, right? Like there's nothing that goes along with Hall of Fame that makes me think Eli Manning, except for 2 rings that he got. And one of them, how did he get in? They were a pretty garbage team that got hot at the right time. So I'd rather take a step back and not have a shot at the playoffs to just take a flyer on a coach, or do I want to make sure that I at least have a chance every year?
They were 9-7 both times. Garbage team. All right, Andy, you get the last word on Tomlin. Then we go to a station break. And the station break, Jennifer, you're gonna love her station breaks. So stay on.
I know the station breaks.
So my question is where is your floor and where is your ceiling? And that's what I was saying on the Chick show earlier. Like Bo said, the Steelers have not had a losing season since 2003. Why don't you be one of these other? I mean, I hate to say this, but the last couple of years, Detroit's been doing really well. But before that, how bad was Detroit? How bad has Jacksonville been? They went out and got Urban Meyer, new coach. Then they went out and got Doug Peterson. Everybody thought he was going to be the best thing for him. And look, he's fired. Look at how many coaching vacancies we have this year already. You have a proven coach that has proven that he can get the job done, especially in the regular season, to get you, like Bo said, a chance in the playoffs. How many other teams cannot say that? Look at the Panthers.
Right.
Well, and you're having one of those chances with like Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky. And like, you don't even deserve to be in the playoffs with guys like that.
Like, we're Keels fans, and honestly, like when Mitch went first round, my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, why? We're like, he's good in college.
Yep.
So you're setting the bar, I think. Your expectations are, you've already said, okay, we've got to be winning in the regular season. Great. Now our bar is even higher. And if we don't get to the Super Bowl, we need to fire coaches. Well, there's only 2 teams in the league that get to the Super Bowl. So you're going to fire all the rest of the coaches in the league? I mean, I get it if you think that he's lost the locker room. So then maybe there are some changes, but it's not all just Tomlin in that locker room.
Right, yeah.
There's players in that locker room. There's other coaches in that locker room.
Yeah, Terrell Austin needs to be fired too.
And then you've got Russell, who wants to be a coach and a player and thinks he's freaking Tom Brady.
But the one thing I will always say, and I get this from my husband, if you are going to fire your coach, you better darn well know that you have a better person in mind, in place, when you already have a really good coach. I mean, if you had a horrible coach and you were losing and you weren't doing well in the season, then yes, you fire your coach, because anybody else would be better. But if you have a good coach already and you're going to fire him, you better have his replacement, and his replacement better, for whatever reason, be better. You better have him in mind. He's got to be available. Like, would it have been Bill Belichick? You know, he had proven success, but no, he went to you got to have.
He didn't just go to some school, Missy.
I'm just saying.
I mean, so we
Well-
got to watch this play out, though.
Well,
Because
let me
Seattle just did this. They fire Pete, right? They go on a 4-0 run to start the season. Everybody's like, they're a genius. They hired the right guy. Then they go 1-4. Everybody was already clamoring to fire the guy. You are 9 games in. People are like, fire him. He's just not going to do it. So there's going to be such an incredible amount of pressure on whoever takes that job next that you don't have the team to sustain that. Like whoever gets in there, if they get bombed in their first year, they may not get fired. But man, you can bet that fan base is going to be calling for it.
Well, let me add this, okay, to what Candy said. I'll take you out of football for a moment. But with the Detroit Pistons, when they let Rick Carlisle go after 2 successive 50-win seasons, they brought in Larry Brown, result an NBA championship, and I'll leave it at that. So with that said, now we go to a station break. Just to let everybody know what we have left. 2 more topics, predictions, and the show is over. Candy, station break. Jan, I hope you can stay on a little bit longer. I will go through these as quickly as I can. We have some really good filet left on these.
Yeah, you had one that I was
agenda.
really interested in talking about.
We have some great stuff. Got some predictions. Candy, station break time. Go ahead.
So, South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by your host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google and Apple Books. Audiobook coming soon. There's a link on our website, www.South Florida Tribune, for this book, for our merchandise store, for a lot of great content. Writers such as Scott, Pensman's throwing his, out there. He's going to start writing. I take pictures. Go check out our website. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise with us or sponsor a show, call Scott, 954-304-4941. If you want to be a guest on the show or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Back to you, Scott.
All right, next 2 topics are rapid fire. We got predictions, so we're going to move quickly on these. I wanted to make sure that the heavy-hitting opinions were with the top 3 while Jen was on. These next ones shouldn't be too complicated. Jim Harbaugh made history by leading the Chargers to the postseason. He's the first coach in Super Bowl era to lead 2 teams to the playoffs in his first season after a team had a losing year. the previous year. When he was at San Francisco, Harbaugh had a 6-10 record, and obviously last year the Chargers had a 5-12 record. Both are in the playoffs. So I'm going to ask you guys a quick question, guys and gals. Despite the 32-12 loss to Houston, are things looking up in LA? Okay, Jennifer, what do you think? Yes or no? And give me a brief explanation.
Yeah, I mean, Harbaugh was a proven winner. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, and so is his brother. So I think things are looking up in LA, but we shall see.
Okay, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they are. Obviously, the coaching that they had before was atrocious. So it really only had one way to go. But they have a lot of nice pieces. So, yeah, I mean, I expect them to be able to build on that for next year.
Pensman.
Yes, because Harbaugh is a winner. He does what he does. He did Michigan, did San Francisco, and Stanford.
Candy.
I think LA has the right pieces to build on. That he only has upsides to go. I think that he can do. He's proven that he can do it with other teams. He's a good coach. He's going to do it with this team as well. So,
yeah, I like the way things are going with the Chargers for sure. Last rapid fire question, and it's a very easy one. Tom Brady will be calling the Lions versus Commanders Saturday night. He recently interviewed Ben Johnson for the Raiders head coaching position. Conflict of interest. Candy, we'll start off with you. What do you think?
I think just because he's a commentator that he's going to be calling a game, that it's really not as much of a conflict. Tom Brady has a lot of football knowledge, and I think the Raiders are lucky to have such a talented football knowledge-minded person helping them with this, or as part of the ownership group. Do I think he can't objectively call a game then on television? Let him do it. Like I like to hear from knowledgeable people on a broadcast when they're talking about the game and stuff like that. That's what I enjoy, because I might not have all the inside information because I've never played the game. So I like that, and I like to hear that. So do I think I say let him interview, let him do it, let him call the games, let him do both.
All right, Jennifer Lee Cobb is in. Hello, love the show. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Jen. Much appreciated. Robert Wardell, the winning quarterback of the Buffalo-Baltimore game, gets the MVP. Pretty hard to debate that. Okay, Pensman, go ahead. Conflict of interest, yes or no?
No.
Okay.
He has 2 jobs right now, so let him do his interviewing for the coaching vacancy, and then let him do the broadcasting that he paid $10 million for. So
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Jennifer.
I don't think that's a conflict of interest. However, I do think there are better commentators out there, but Tom Brady will get there.
I think Greg Olsen should be on the lead team if Tom Brady leaves anyway. So
there you go. There you go.
All right, so
the same way, but I figured I'd sound like a homer if I said it. But he's really good.
Well, but it came from me, so don't worry about it. All right. Exactly. So we agreed twice, Jennifer. You better go ahead and put that in your diary. It doesn't happen too. Okay. All right, Bo. What do you think? Conflict of interest? Yes or no?
No, of course not. I mean, obviously there's verbiage in that contract saying he can't be in the boardroom meetings and stuff like that, which that absolutely would be conflict of interest. But for him to broadcast the game and commentate on it, of course not. I mean, that would be like me saying I can't talk about other teams because I'm a Seahawk fan. I'm a Seahawk fan for 3 hours a week when I will absolutely talk with the best of them. And then I put my analyst hat back on because that's what I do. So I would imagine that Brady is absolutely that professional that can understand that he has multiple jobs.
Now, the only thing I'll say about it is he's going to get firsthand looking at the future head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, because I think he's going to get hired by the Raiders. He's a brilliant offensive mind, and he's definitely going to be what that franchise needs, and he's willing to wait till the end. But I say no way. Tom Brady's pretty good, but I'm still leaning on Greg Olsen when Tom decides to leave. Final topic of the night, our prediction. See, I know, Jennifer, if I move this thing up because I talk fast, it's not because of the caffeine, by the way. It's because I'm a high motor guy. What do you expect, okay?
How much Mountain Dew did you have today, Scotty Cakes? How much Mountain Dew did you have?
All of it.
Why, do you really
right? That is why there is a run here in Charlotte. Thank you.
Do you really want to know?
No.
Good.
Neither does your wife.
Well, no, she
I already know. I
She
know.
already knows. That's it. All right. Predictions time. Let's talk about college football. Notre Dame, Ohio State. Okay, Candy. These are predictions. You can start first. Who are you
Ohio
going with?
State. Ohio State by 10.
Okay, Benjamin.
Ohio State by 7.
Jennifer.
I say Ohio State by 14 with a P because I could see the upset with Riley Leonard and Notre Dame.
Bo.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think it's going to be Ohio State 14.
Yeah, I'll go Ohio State double digits. They've beaten everybody else by double digits. Might as well beat Notre Dame as well. But I'm glad that Notre Dame. The best thing I like about this whole tournament is the SEC doesn't have representation in the finals. Kudos to the Big Ten for getting there. SEC, now you know it's like to play real competition week in and week out instead of everybody in your conference. All right, NFL predictions. We talked about it earlier. We'll talk about it again. Washington and Detroit. Candy, we'll go ahead and go around the horn this time.
Detroit.
Okay. All right, Candy. Houston at Kansas City.
Kansas City.
LA Rams at Philly.
Philly.
And last but not least, Baltimore at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Okay. Benjamin.
Commanders. Lions on the first one. Sorry. Lions are beating the Commanders.
Okay. All right. Second one, Houston against Kansas City.
Kansas City's got that one.
LA Rams and Philly.
Philly's got that one.
Okay. Last but not least, Buffalo and Baltimore. Benjamin.
I got Buffalo on that one.
Okay.
I got Buffalo on that one.
Okay. Jennifer.
Um,
Well, you already said You said Washington.
I really
earlier,
want it
right?
to be the Lions because I feel like it's Lions time. So I'm going to go with the Lions. I know I've said that I think it's going to be a tight game, but I do think the Lions will pull it off, even though historically it's the Commanders.
Well, you said Washington earlier. Did you change your mind?
I've been riding the fence. You can ask Candy. I've been riding the fence all night long.
Look at this.
And I've admitted that I was riding the fence.
Oh, so now we
I
got
think the
Jennifer
Lions
Brett
win.
Favre Lewis, right? Now she's waffling. Good stuff. Good stuff, Brett
Do not ever
Favre. I
call me
love
Brett
her.
Favre. Do not.
I'm putting you in the category of Brett Favre. You're waffling. So is it the Lions or the Commanders?
I'm going to go. I honestly think it'll be the Lions. And I said earlier, and I'll say again, Commanders own the series. But I do think it'll be Lions by a very close margin, like 3.
So you're going with the Lions. That's all I know.
Yeah.
She's giving me the long version of the Lions. Okay, no problem. You said it's Kansas City. I love you, Jen. You know how I feel.
I kind of said that earlier. I was like,
You're the greatest, Jennifer.
I didn't actually
You are
say
the
it
greatest.
last
All right, Jennifer, give me Houston at Kansas City. We know Kansas City's got the barbecue. Do they have the win?
Patrick Mahomes is now the GOAT of the postseason. So I'm going to go with Kansas City.
All right. Rams and Philly.
I'm going to go against the green here. Rams.
God, that scares me.
Because you don't know which Jalen Hurts is going to show up or which half Jalen Hurts is going to show up.
Baltimore at Buffalo. Don't worry. Wait till you get to my picks, Jennifer. Baltimore at Buffalo.
Where's that game being played?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Okay. Bo.
Home field advantage.
Yes, I'm going to go KC. As much fun as the Texans story is, it ends this weekend. I got the Lions for a similar reason.
Two teams that haven't been to a Super Bowl yet either. So you got the Lions and you have Kansas City. Okay, you got the Rams and Philadelphia.
Yeah, so I like Philly here. The Rams are definitely healthy at the right time. I'm real curious to see if Higbee makes it back. That tight end will make a huge difference against this Philly defense. And so that could kind of sway a pick a little bit, but I like Philly for today. And then I'm going to go Ravens on the road here, provided they remember Henry is on their roster. If they do what they did last postseason where they decided to not run the ball at all, they're about to get ran over. But if they understand that they have a monster human that runs fast, then they have a real shot against the Bills because the Bills do have some weakness on that defense.
All right, I'll give you my prediction pretty quickly. The Lions over Washington, Kansas City over Houston. The Lions in Kansas City will benefit from the rest. Gosh, Jennifer, I am really sick now because we are going to agree for the third time. Seriously, really? I'm going with the Rams. I love Stafford. They're playing awfully good ball. And I tell you one thing, what the Rams did against Minnesota was a perfect game plan. They're getting hot at the right time. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with the Rams.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought about Baltimore earlier, but I got to go with Buffalo since this show is a theme about revenge. And I think Buffalo gets revenge over what happened to them after the stomping earlier by Baltimore. So I could end up losing on this one, but I'm going with Buffalo and Josh Allen. Well, that does it for this edition of Inside the Fiction, but we're not done yet. We're going to let everybody know how to get a hold of it. We appreciate all the participation in the chat room. So with that said, Jennifer, why don't you let everybody know how they can get a hold of you?
Sure. Check us out, Candy and I out with our other girls on Tuesday nights at 7:30 at 3 Chicks in a Pod, Chicks and Salsa. You can also find me on Facebook as well on X and on Instagram. And I'll be uploading some of my interviews that I've done in the past with some of the players that will be playing this weekend on Monday night.
And we have a Did You Know, folks? Once upon a time, Jennifer Lewis was a part of Inside the Fiction. We're just so glad that she's back on Inside.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're glad to have her back. Bo, you know the drill. After all, you've been with me every week. And the last couple of years, let everybody know how they get a hold of you, Bo.
Yeah, so obviously you can find me right here on Tuesday nights, on Wednesday with Coach, and 5 days a week on Roku TV.
Pensman, you know the drill. How can they reach you, get a hold of you?
I think he's frozen. Oh, there he is.
Pensman, I know he's engrossed in he's over at the stadium there. Are you there, Pensman? Well, all right, he's moving there. I guess he's there. You go, Pensman. Yeah, we're here. All right,
Sports,
Pensman.
and then
go ahead.
I can almost hear the dial-up.
Yeah, I can hear the dial-up.
Be good.
Are they getting snow?
I don't know.
Right? We didn't hear anything you've said it. So,
in fact, your video is frozen too. So,
that's right. He gets another crack at it tomorrow night.
Let's put it this way: Pensman joins me on Thursday nights on Fire Up. He's also on Wednesday nights.
You can hear.
And then he has his own YouTube channel, Pensman Sports on YouTube.
Here I am.
There, all right. You can do an audio replay with your voice.
I think I am.
Yeah, now you are. Okay, good stuff.
You
all
can
right,
find
do it again.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube on Pensman Sports, and you can find me on.
Okay. All right, Candy. You know what? Good job, Pensman. Take us home with mine since my voice is starting to get near the end of the line, but I was able to carve out 48 to 50 minutes anyways. Go ahead, Candy. Take us home.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. It talks about how media has changed over his 45 plus years in the business. Got to get this book. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Audiobook coming out later. You can also find a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where he has other writings, and there's all kinds of plethoras of other sports content, as well as other content as well. Again, that was www.southfloridatribune.com. If you want to be a guest on the show or have topic ideas, you can email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you want to advertise or sponsor a show, call Scott 954-304-4941. If you missed any of that, it's been scrolling along the bottom, or you can hit the rewind button if you're listening to us wherever you get your podcast. Either way, check us out. And if you see that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, that means you have not subscribed to us yet. And I honestly don't know why you wouldn't have, but please do so. And then, most importantly, thank you to all the people in the chat room, but also I would ask all of you to subscribe or go out and watch all of our panelists. They have excellent content as well, and we appreciate them giving us their time and joining us on our broadcast. Okay,
one last piece of business. Jennifer and Candy are teammates. Candy, let them know why.
3 Chicks in a Pod or Chicks and Salsa. Check us out 7:30 Tuesday nights.
Sorry, Candy. And you can also check us out, some of our old shows on our YouTube page at the Chicks Podcast. Not to be confused with that Barstool Stools chicks in the office that tried to steal us, but that's okay.
And I'll just point out that Jennifer Lewis is one of our top pinch hitters. Every time we need her on the Sports Exchange or Inside the Pigskin, we're always proud that she's willing to come on and give us a hand once in a while. And we appreciate you very much, Jennifer, for doing that, coming back on the show what you once represented. Sports Exchange, everybody's great. Well, what can I say about you? You know, you're my partner in crime, Pensman. As a new rising star on the platform, Candy is just what she is. She's just dynamite, put everything together, and Jennifer as well. Me, all I do is just moderate this whole thing, and it's my job not to screw it up. So, but when you have a good supporting cast, it works out well. So, on behalf of Candy Upling, Pensman Sports, Bo Crouch, and Jennifer Lewis, my name is Scott Morgan, Route the Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Inside the Pigskin. We'll be back on next Tuesday night. Take care, everybody. Have a great night and have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. Good night, everybody.